Alright, welcome back to Decode Traders Hub, the special edition, Saturday special edition is what you're having currently as we speak right now. Yeah, please call your neighbor and let them understand we are here on the Saturday edition of this analysis on Decode Traders Hub. So please welcome back those who were with us the whole week. Congrats on your making money, on the signals that you made, and that you took and made money. Congrats to those that are having their first time here. Go ahead and subscribe, and of course don't forget to hit the bell button so that you don't miss any other of our sessions here where we analyze live, and when we get a signal while we are live, we immediately execute the signal and enter the trade immediately. So that is what we do here. We don't fake anything, we trade alive, as you can see. All right, so I'm still allowing more people to join in. I wanted to start at exactly 11. I want to get into it at 10 minutes past 11. That's when I want to get into it. So we have about 4 minutes as I wait on other people to join in. Let them know. Go to your groups, share the link, share the flyer there, the card there for the live stream. Let them know. Let them come around. Let them join us. It's a Saturday. I believe everyone is at home. Most of you guys are at home enjoying the weekend. So you can join us at 11 right now and be part of this. Be part of the analysis. All right. As wait on the guys, let me still leave you with the background music. You guys be enjoying it as we wait on them. Please, you call on them, like the stream as you can, and of course share it so that a lot other people can reach this live stream. All right, welcome back. All right, thank you so much for joining. Of course, now we are 11 minutes past 11. Let's now start today's session. Please, if you don't mind, we're going to first pray as usual. Those who know our drill, how we normally do this, and then we get started. Father, we thank you for this beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you for the special edition of a Saturday that we've now started, Lord. Thank you that we are here, Lord, and just like I understood it, you want us to have it every last Friday of the month. So, Lord, we'll be doing that special Saturday edition every last Friday of the month, and we'll be looking at making money on that very last Saturday. So, thank you, Lord. As we get into this tonight, give us good insight of the market. Let us understand the direction, the clear movement, and the clear signal that we need to understand so that we can make this weekend money as you want us to do, Lord. We give you praise. We love you. Thank you for the profits. Thank you for yesterday's profits. I believe most of those who took their trades, they were able to make a lot of money yesterday. We give you praise and we give you all the honor. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Amen. All right. Without any further ado, let's start off as usual with Crush 500. All right, so Crush 500. Crush 500. So yesterday, this was the move. Yesterday, those who were with us here yesterday on this analysis on Crush, you remember we said we will wait for this pullback, that pullback right there to that fair value gap. It came to it, but then it started to play games when it got to this level right here. It was like a resistance level. Came back there, but it didn't stay long. I don't know how I missed to make my entry when it came back to that line, because I had already drawn it, wanting to take it on right there. I missed it. So started to sell from then. I didn't bother to go back to actually get another entry. But that's how yesterday went. So I don't know if any of us here actually took this signal yesterday, but it was on point right there. So anyone who went right anyone who went there and followed the analysis, you should have made enough money yesterday on this very asset Crush 500. So that's how it all went. Came to our TP level right there. That's where we wanted our TP to be, and increased it. So as we speak now, let's look at today. First delete everything right here. Delete that, delete this and that. I was actually waiting for the same move on BTC, this one. Now I will even analyze BTC today, since it is a special edition. I will still analyze BTC and look at what happened. I was waiting for the same move yesterday on BTC like this. Yeah, so let's do this. Delete. All right. Go to H4. What was this? It's break of structure. Delete that. H4. We have break of structure. We need buys according to H4. According to daily, we need buys. Yes. According to H4, we need buys. But then we haven't gotten any any change of character. So apparently on H1 we are trying to look for this change of character right about there. Yeah, that is a previous lower low, that is a previous lower high. So if this move, actually no, this lower low has to give us a lower high, then it comes and breaks it. So still that's not a real something that we can look for. This lower high gave us the lower low, so we saw this was a break of structure right there. So this lower low has to give us a new lower high for us to understand that it can at least come and take out this current lower high that it would have created. So we would anticipate something like this according to H1, something like that, and then we get where we can anticipate the change of character right about there. So for now I would anticipate something like this. Since I have a lower low, this is more like a break of structure, I would want to see a lower high created and then trying to come back to create a new lower low and failing to create a new lower low, and then coming to take out the previous lower high, which will be right there or somewhere, either above there, whatever. But I will want to first see a lower high, then another lower low creation, but not taking the previous lower low, meaning it will be just a low trying to come to take on the previous lower high, so that we can start the buy trend. So until then I have no business with this asset. So right now I can easily delete everything that I have here. Even this can be taken out. All this can now be taken out. This is not necessary right there. So alright, so I think according to H1, that is something I can anticipate. If I go to M15, of course M15 has already showed us that is a change of character on M15, but then it has to come down to test this order block or the fair value gap right here. So that's what I'll be looking at on H1. So this will be following what we have on H1. Alright, so for today, that's what we can wait for on Crash 500. So now let's go to Boom 1000. Boom 1000. So remember, you're watching the special Saturday edition, and you are live. We are doing this live, so don't think it is recorded and it is being replayed there. So this is live market. You can check with your own charts and understand what we're doing. If you don't mind, if you can give us a thumbs up right now, and let us have YouTube algorithm push us to create this more. Alright, so yesterday, this is Boom 1000. This is what we were waiting for yesterday. Yesterday we were waiting for that kind of move so that we can get into sales, but then we wanted when we get back down here, we get into buys. That's what that's what H4 and M15 were giving us, the signal that they were giving us. If I can go to H4, yesterday we had that support right there, and that's the reason why we were looking for the buy right there. But the only thing that was contradicting with the buys, it was H1's analysis. H1 was still not oversold. Was still not oversold. Up to now, still we can see where it is. It's still in the middle. It's not yet gone to oversold. So it is the only analysis on time frame, according to time frame, that was not aligning with the buy, and clearly it played a lot on us games, because when it reached here, we started to buy. We actually entered the buy. It went there, we entered some profits, then came back down, then went into profits, then came back down until it broke the support level right there. So that's how it played games. So of course, I didn't tell you guys to enter the sell here. We didn't enter that sell. We were waiting for this buy move, which it actually failed to come through because of what was happening on H1 as a time frame. Remember, the reason why we were looking for this buy is to grab liquidity on that order block. That is some liquidity that was left back, and then we can continue. The general trend is a sell, that is for sure. We wanted all the sell, but we were looking for that retracement before we can continue with a sell. But somehow it decided we don't need to retrace. We don't need to retrace. We didn't get any big retracement. The only retracement we see was this move right there. This one right there that you see. That is only retracement we saw. It was a short retracement and it's not that significant. So I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for a significant retracement before we can get into sells again. But market had some ideas and they pushed. They knew that we were looking for that retracement. Of course, you know, these market makers, they already be seeing everything. So for now, we can delete right here everything that we had. My fair value gap up there, is it a fair value gap? Another block? It's another block on H4. We'll leave it. I will leave it there. We delete everything right here. This support has been mitigated, so I don't think I need it anymore. Right now, if we go to H4, I mean daily, this is the weekly kind of move. It's an expanding rising wedge, and we can see clearly that it is coming to that trend line. So if we can go back to the daily, let's see, where are we? We are on this level currently. That is another support right there where we are. According to H4, let me understand it exactly. You can see it. That is another support. It was initially a fair value gap on H4 right there. It was initially a fair value gap on H4, and as we speak, it's a support level. As we speak, it's a support level. So I can easily, okay, let me just leave it the way it is, as a fair value gap right there, which became a support right there. So let me just leave it. And now I want to look at H4. H4 is now oversold clearly according to CCI right there. And let's see, H1 is still in the middle, which is still a big challenge, but M15 is already in buys. Is already in buys, as we can see. According to CCI, is already giving us the buy signal. And right now, all we need is to see a change of character right there. That's all we need right there. So to understand if we are going to actually enter buys, H1 will press some big roll, roll right here. We are not going to do the same thing that happened yesterday. We will wait H1 to give us a change of character for us to make an entry for the buys on this boom 1000. So for now, this is a no-go for me. I'm on support. I need to see some change of character on H1. If I see a change of character on H1, then I know I will be coming probably to such levels right here, to such levels on H1. I know that can be a move that we can see either today or tomorrow, yeah, before it can retest on H4. H4, it will be like a retest, or probably even here, right there where there is that fair value gap, right in between there where we see this fair value gap right there. You can do that and then come back here on H4, and then we start to see some retest. Then this retest may now just go back to that level, not go all the way back inside that pattern. So for now, I have nothing to talk about this. I need to see some change of character. Until then, I have no business with Boom 1000. All right, Boom 500. Let's talk about Boom 500. Yes, Boom 500, we also wanted this move, this retest trade. Of course, it is also in the general trend of it is a sell. Why? Because we broke out of that. It's like a symmetrical. It's actually a symmetrical triangle right there. So we broke out of it, and then we saw some retest there, but we thought we could see more of that coming to that fair value gap on H1. It's the same even on H4, but if you go to H4, it was mitigated right here. I think that's what we missed. If we use H4, that fair value gap was mitigated with this candle, right here. So if it is continuing with the sell, that means the mitigation of the fair value gap was already done by the H4 candle right there. So for now, that means we won't be looking for this move anymore. It was done already. So all we can do now is look for the sells. But the sells are still going, are still having a low momentum. This is an order block. I need to first clear some of the things right here. Okay, that is a weekly resistance where we are. Daily support right there. And H4, we have a support. That was an order block. It's becoming a support currently. But if we are looking at the signal from CCI, it shows us we need to sell, not to buy. So it means at any time we will see this support being broken out. So if we go to H1, we have also that order block right here, and it's also showing us that we need some buys. In fact, that's the reason why we were looking for buys yesterday according to H1. So H1 and M15, if they are aligning, then that means we need to see some buys. But this kind of trade, I rarely enter it because of the kind of momentum I'd be seeing in the market. Look at the candlesticks right there. They are so weird for anyone to make any entries. So if I have to delete that, go back to H1, and then the H4 I can delete it. Let's remain with the daily one. In fact, let's remain with the H1 order block. Let's delete the weekly. Let's delete the weekly right there. So we have the daily, the H1 order block, and it's becoming a support. We see prices above our 10 MA, but we haven't seen any change of character. We haven't seen any change of character. According to H1, that is like a break of structure right there. So that means we need to see again price come down again to try and take out this lower low that has been created. So for this, we still have a long way. It may come and give us another break of structure down below. It may come and give us another break of structure, or it just comes right here. If it comes right here on the same level, or even the bit here, that will give us what we need. Of course, that will give us what we need. But if it comes again down, means still that will be a break of structure, and we'll be still looking for sells. So until then, we just want something like this for us to look for buys. We need a change of character. We need a lower high there to be created, and then come back, try to take out the lower low, but fail and turns around there or just on the same level, and then comes and takes it out. So that's what we need. That's what we want to see. Until then, this is nothing we can really look at and try to take advantage of. This is nothing. If I use the trend lines right there, you can clearly see it is within a weird channel. It's within a weird channel right there. So either way, we need buys to break and continue up there. So for now, I'm not trading this. I'm leaving it until I get more data on it that I can really use. All right, I think that's it on Boom 500. Please don't trade such markets where there is no clear structure. We are on the support, yes, but do we have an entry for the buys? No. Do we have an entry for the sales? No. So stay away from such markets. Same as Boom 1000, you need to stay away. Yes, we are on support, but do we have an entry for buys? No. An entry for sales? No. Stay away. That's why that's what I keep on telling those who attend the analysis on the daily. So now let's head over to V25S. Vol 25 1S. Vol 25 1S. So Volatility 25 1S. Yesterday we wanted a pullback there to start selling. I actually entered the sell, but then this momentum right here, of course I didn't share the signal to the VIP signal group. I made an entry right there, but the way it was moving on that very level, because I had seen it, it had already given me this. That's where I wanted to enter my sells right there. So the momentum it was giving me right here, it was more of it wants to first go up and retest. So I broke even right there, didn't go into any loss. I just broke even and waited. Somehow I think I was monitoring some other trade that we were in, and it went all back there, and that's where the entry we got again the entry, and that means we would have entered on that second candle below the 10 MA. That's when we would have made our entry right there. So I missed that entry. When I came back, I found it had already broken that level, that support. It had already broken that support, and I wanted a retest, probably back to that fair value gap or to that support right there. It did not give it to me, and that's how I missed that sell. But those who remember yesterday's analysis, we were looking for sales in this asset. All right, so enough of that. Let's delete everything right there. We don't need, we've already used it, so all that can now go. Remove the history, delete the change of character right there, and now let's get to daily. Let's look at daily. Daily, we know we are in that, and this is like a weekly fair value gap right there. That's where we are currently. That's a weekly fair value gap. So the plan at hand was to come here and then get us into buys to take us all the way there. Why? Because daily, this is like a retracement. This was like a retracement according to daily. If you see on CCI signal, we reached the retracement level right here. We were in a buy trend, but then we reached the retracement level. But that buy trend that we were in, this move right here, this move right there, went to our all-time, our high, which is our resistance right there. So we didn't see any break of structure, we didn't see any breakout there. So we anticipated sales. Of course, on the weekly we anticipated to start selling from there, but then daily it became as if we are not yet ready for more sales. So it was like a retracement to come back. So if we come back up there again and we fail to break that, to break the resistance, that means we will start to see some long-term sales coming in. So for now we are anticipating buys from this area. So let's go to H4. We see if it is aligning with the buys. Of course, if we go to H4 from that level there, let me first delete this and delete that, delete that, delete this, that, and I think even this, yeah, delete that. So as we speak on H4, this was like a change of character right here. That was a change of character according to H4. This is a high that gave us a lower high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, then tried to go for a high, failed, came, broke it. This was a change of character. We got a lower low, a lower high, now we have a lower low right here. So means we are in a downtrend according to H4, but we've reached a point of interest on daily time frame. It is not even on daily, it was on weekly, but if I can use the one on daily, clearly you will see that is a fair value gap right there. Yeah, if I use the one on daily, that is a fair value gap, and that's where we are currently. And it's sort of now like a support. It's sort of like a support. Price tested it here, didn't go in between it, but went all the way back up. Right now we've gone back to it. So according to CCI, we clearly see we are oversold on H4. That tells us that H1, if it is to align with the buys, we should be oversold. We are not. We are not. According to CCI, we are not oversold, meaning this is a break of structure and we still need price to continue down a bit. So it means we are not yet ready to sell, to buy this asset, to enter buys on this asset. So what we do is we wait for H1 to give us a signal of buys, some change of some signal of a reversal. So until we get any reversal kind of signal on H1, we cannot enter, we cannot start to try to look for entries for the buys. We are still in a downtrend, and the signal we normally look for is a change of character on either M15 or H1, and that's what can push us to start to look for buys. So for this right here, we can't sell it, we can't buy it, but we know that we are in a downtrend. If we happen to break this level, then we know that it will come all the way to this trend line. Once it comes to that trend line, you know without a fail we will be entering buys right there. You know without a fail we'll be looking for buys when it comes to that trend line, and that will be even aligning with the support, potential support level right there. It's an order block, it's not yet a support, but that will become a support if price reacts to that level, just like it did right there, just like it did right there. That's the same thing we'll be anticipating to happen right here or down below right there. So all those are levels that we can anticipate price to come to, which are aligning with the trend line that we have right here. So for now, I can't say much. This is also something I can't trade. I can easily go to HM15. This is a break of structure right here. So price is sort of now getting above our 10 MA, and of course CCI is already showing that we are oversold, meaning M15 is trying to push us into buys, but we can't because H1 is not aligning with it, so we have to wait for H1. So for now, I have no business with this asset till further notice. V75, perfect move that we wanted, and clearly now we have a change of character right there. So let me first give us the name right here, V75. So V75, we had this move yesterday. I waited for this pullback so that I can make my entry. It didn't come at all, so that's why I didn't share the signal to actually go all the way up there. But when we analyzed, we knew that it was coming to that fair value gap on H1. So it came there, and that was the move there. So anyone who actually got the trade right here or there, you made money. Me, I was waiting for the perfect entry after retest. I didn't get that. So this is the move that we wanted, from the longer term move, from this support to get to that level, which would be like a retest trade according to H4. That was to be a retest trade and then start to sell. We saw that yesterday. Those who have been following us on the daily, we've been following it, and that's how we wanted it. So that move happened, and now we saw a change of character. We got one candle retest. I don't know if it is enough for us to actually get us into sales. Yeah, something weird is on CCI. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it, but clearly if I see CCI is actually telling us we are oversold, we need to get into buys, but yet we have a change of character on that fair value gap. This can be taken out, even that. So the reason why it is doing this, I get to know. Yes, now this is the reason why. This is a support. It's now becoming a support on H4. We were having this as a rising wedge breakout. We retest and continue to sell. That's what we wanted. According to daily, that's what we would be looking for. But according to H4, it is something that it is, according to H4 and H1, this would be taken also to be a change of character right here, meaning price would be coming to this fair value gap, grab liquidity, and then get into buys again. So I will not be surprised if price gives me that to get back inside. I will not be surprised, because this is a change of character from the support right here. Yes, of course we see that on H1, but then according to CCI, this change of character will be the one aligning with the CCI. Same thing on H4. Look at that. Oversold, went to the retracement, and then came back to retrace. Came back where? To that fair value gap. Where can I drag it from? That is a fair value gap according to H4 right there. That is a fair value gap. That was a change of character there. Lower low right there. So currently we see price coming back into that fair value gap. So if it is grabbing this, it means we will see more buys to at least go back inside. Probably we may see it even come to this fair value gap right there. Grab that, or even go back up there for probably those highs right there. So this is now becoming a bit sketchy. So we will have to options on how we will make this entry. So first go back to H1, delete this, delete that. Those are change of characters. Now we are here in the between, we are halfway of that fair value gap. So that is mostly our entry point. If I go to M15, what do I have? M15 is still showing me that I need to continue selling. Yeah, probably to that level, or all the way to this other fair value gap on M15 down below. So I will wait. So if M15 gives me a change of character to actually enter buys, I'll be entering buys, not sells. I'll be entering buys, even though I know that daily we need sells, but then these other time frames, H1 and H4, they are showing me that I need to first get into some buys before we look for sells. So if H1 becomes oversold, then I can start to look for sells. If H1 becomes overbought, then I can start to look for some sells. But until then, I have no entry. I have no entry for sells. I will only have an entry for sells if I see a breakout right on this level. This is when I will start to look for sells right there. If I see a breakout right here, then I will start to look for sells. Until then, I have no business with sells. I have no business. According to H4, price is below our 10 MA, which is another signal to sell. According to H1, price is below our 10 MA, which is another reason to sell. You get the dilemma here, that if you make a mistake and you have no support of your entry, you will face some losses. So for now, I'm not buying anything right here. I will wait for the sells, I will wait for the breakout here, but then for the buys, I will wait for M15 to give me an entry, because the 10 MA is very close to the price, right there to the candlestick. So I will wait. I know very soon it can easily give me that point that I'm looking for, where I can enter my buys. So for now, no, I'm not ready to mess up with any entry currently, because of what I'm seeing. Yeah, because of what I'm seeing, I'm not ready. I will wait for a proper entry, change of character, or whatever that I can get to actually make an entry. But the clear overview are sells. That is what we need to come to this order block right there. All right, that I will leave it at H1. Let me now head over to V50. Let me head over to V50. V50. If it is your first time here, please don't mind. You can go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and of course click the bell button and allow all notifications so that you don't miss any other session that we always have here when we are live. Also, this is jump 50, not V50. Jump 50. So jump 50, we made a lot of money yesterday, and apparently I'm still in it. Actually, I put my limit order right here last night. I put my limit order, and it was activated. So let me first show you the entry yesterday. This was yesterday's entry. So it came and tried to look for liquidity pool down below here, but those who remember, it almost took us out. Our stop loss was just about here. Those who remember yesterday, those of VIP signals, you know that our stop loss was just about there. It almost took us out, but we were lucky it did not take us out, and we started the buys right there. Our first TP was hit right there. I had anticipated that we had a fair value gap on H1. We first remove the history, and probably remove even this line. Let's create some. Yes, this one I still need it. This is a general thing, so I can take out this and that. Take it out. I had that order block. It came to a fair value gap, so I can take this out also. So I realized we had a fair value gap that was enough for me to actually anticipate a pullback. So it's what I did. 50% right there, and clearly you can see it was a sniper entry. That was a limit order right there. Price came, touched it, activated it immediately. It didn't even try to look for any liquidity pool whatsoever. It immediately went into buys, and up to now I'm still in that buy. I actually entered another entry to this morning when it made this pullback again to that fair value gap on M15. I made another entry right there. Right as we speak currently, my stop losses are in profits. This is where my stop losses are currently. So it is on H1, it is overbought, as you can see right there, but then we are still in a buy trend. We haven't seen any change of character. We are seeing break of structure. This was a break of structure right there. This was a break of structure. It has gone to give us a high, but then came retested. It has failed to give us a high. It is trying to come down. It is trying to come down. So it is still this resistance. If you look on the left, we have a resistance right there. We have a resistance right there. It is holding up, but it is not so much a strong resistance. I believe it will be taken out, but I'm not sure when. I have to first go to M15. M15 is looking for sales. Actually, is looking for sales. I wonder where it may want to first come back here. Probably, yeah, it may want to first come right here, but then I can easily close my entries. But before I close my entries, let me first understand this on M5, and I understand it before I can close my entries. Okay, I want to see it clearly so that I know what I'm dealing with. Alright, so I know one thing for sure, that it's gonna go like that. It's going to eventually break out and take me up there. This resistance is gonna be broken out. I know for a fact. It may first try to give me a fake breakout down below and probably take me out and then continue, or it can actually choose to break out now and continue with the buy. So for now, from what I've seen according to my trend line there, I'm heading back up there. It's where I'm headed to. So for now, I will still hold up with my entries. I'll still keep holding with my entries because it is going. Now, for anyone who wants to enter, it's very risky. Reason being, the momentum is kind of low currently. It is very low. Even though I know price, I want it right there. Why do I want it there? Because according to H4, this was a falling wedge right there. That was a falling wedge right there. So I want it to come to that trend line up there. That is where I want, and that's where price is going. It's not what I want, but that's where price is going according to the structure. But then after getting there, it may first do a retracement and then continue to break out, because this is what we need. This is the move. From there, we should be getting this move right there to get to that fair value gap right there. So that's where you see this line getting into the fair value gap before we can start selling. According to daily, we are supposed to be selling. According to daily, we are supposed to be selling. But according to H4, actually we didn't touch oversold. We are supposed to be selling too, according to H4 right there. If you look, you can look at that. We didn't touch oversold. We are supposed to be selling also, but we started our buys according to H1 right there because it was a trend line and it grabbed liquidity. Those who have been following with us and you know what we've been looking at, you know the reason why we knew it was going to retest, because of those fair value gaps right there. And there we saw all those moves just like we had analyzed. So now we are in a buy and we want it to come all the way there. So right now I want to delete this and that, and even this fair value gap, it's been mitigated. Delete this and that, and yeah, delete everything right there. I want to stay with that. Go back to H1, and at least that is one thing I need. I know price is coming there, so I can even delete this, and now my entries, I will still hold them. If it breaks out, there's nothing that will stop it to get to that TP. There's nothing that will stop it to get to that TP. Yes, it will be crawling with slow momentum, but then it will have to go to that TP. You have to realize there's a fair value gap right there. That is liquidity. It was never mitigated at all, so price has to get to it. Whether it wants it or not, it has to get back to that liquidity and grab it. So, and that will be, of course, where the trend line is. So whether it wants or not, it will have to get there. So enough of that. Someone will be saying, now Dan, what are you telling us? You are already in it, you're making money. How about us on this asset? We know we are in a buy trend. We know that for sure. So if we know we are in a buy trend according to H1, this was a break of structure right here, yes, to give us a new higher high. So all we need is to get a new high, then a retest to give us a higher low. Then you can enter on the higher low. When it does something like this, that's when you can make an entry to push for that. But remember, it will be having a low momentum, but this is a big asset. It can still give you some good money if you decide to enter from such a level. After giving us a higher high, you can anticipate a higher low, and then you enter when it gives us a higher low. I have to remind you, we are overbought according to H1, but we haven't seen any change of character. That's why we are still continuing with buys. Yeah, I hope that is very noted. All right, enough of this. Let's now head to jump 25 as our second last asset. Remember, I said today we will also analyze BTC, since it is a Saturday special edition. We will still analyze BTC. So V75, this is what we've been looking at. We knew that price was like a flag according to daily time frame. That would be like a flag, or on H4 that would be like a flag. We knew that price was coming to here. Why? Because of this move. Those who have undergone my mentorship classes, you know this. That is where we had our TP. So it happened, but when it happened, it never gave us where we could enter from. When it broke out, the only retest we see, it was one candle of H1 right there. It is not enough for us to make an entry. So we wanted a pullback, probably back there. We never got it, so we missed to enter. Let me see if I made any entry. No, I made the entry to get here. Those who remember, I shared the signal in the VIP when we were still here. That was on Thursday, I believe. This was Friday. Yes, Thursday. So when it broke out, it didn't give us a retest to actually make an entry, so we couldn't risk entering anyhow. So that's how we missed this move. So as we speak, yesterday I was still waiting for this. It didn't happen, so I can delete that. When it broke this level, I waited for this retest. I think I missed it when it did this, actually, this right there. Or by the time it made it, we had not done the analysis. I don't remember, but that was one thing that we could have done right there. According to M15, that was enough retest for us to enter sales. So I can delete it now. So H1, go to H4. We saw it went to that order block, but then we clearly see that it broke it and actually came to this resistance right there. So you can see, I mean, the support right there. You can see that it's now testing it the second time, so meaning one may anticipate a double bottom right here. But before you can anticipate it, of course, you had it on H1. On H1 you had it, and this was like a change of character on H1. Yeah, right there. That was like a change of character on H1. But H4 had to give us this move. So all we need now, the next H4 is at 3 p.m. So if the next H4 candle is a buy, you know we are entering buys. So let me understand this on M15 properly to see if we will be in money. So if I see any reaction right here on this order block, like any buy reaction, I won't hesitate to make an entry. I won't be hesitating to make an entry if I see any buy reaction on this order block. This order block is the one that actually pushed price to break and give us a change of character right here. So it is a very significant order block. It's a valid order block. So if I get any reaction of buys right here, I won't be hesitating to make my sniper entry right there on this asset. According to M15 on CCI, you can see we've been buying. So this is like a retest after hitting the retracement level of CCI. According to H1, the other conferences, CCI also being oversold. So it will be the second conference to push us to look for buys. H4, on the other hand, it's not yet oversold, but it is on support. That is a support level. So we will be waiting to see if we will actually see any buys from such a level. Remember, we wanted to enter buys when price gets to such levels. There's that resistance, and then price broke it and came to this other resistance. So our buys should be starting from here. So I can easily delete this, delete that now, delete that now. So let's get to daily. What are we looking for daily? According to daily, we actually have a break of structure right there. This was a break of structure right there, but then the high that we created gave us a change of character right there. Are you seeing that? That is a change of character to actually insinuate that we should continue with sells according to daily time frame. So if we know that, then we have a change of character. It only means that on H4 we may continue with some sells. On H4 we may continue with some sells. Let me first delete this, delete that. On H4 we may continue with some sells, but to where? We have to know that. Why would we continue with some sells? Yes, according to our trend line right there, we can in fact now change it and draw it in such a way, yeah, and that will now make sense right there, and that will now make sense. So H4 is going to keep selling until it comes to this level. So right now I wouldn't worry about buys because it's likely to break this support and come all the way here to this level. But if it fails and gives us a momentum to buy on M15, in fact we've studied it, but it's not yet to the order block, it's actually to the fair value gap, we will wait for H1. If it happens and breaks that level, then we know we will have a buy, and this buy will be just a retest. Let's look at H4. Where did we get that? So we'll use our fib to actually look for where this buy may come back to. Of course, this is the level right about there, in between there, in between 61.8 and 50%. That is where we will be anticipating our buys to come back to, according to H1. So until then, if we see this, then we will come in with that buy to come to that level, and that means the next move will be a sell to bring us all the way to this level right here. This can be deleted now. This can be deleted. That we can just leave it for now. This I will leave this on H1. All I need is any buy momentum from this M15 order block, so I will leave it on M15. So until then, if I don't see anything right here, I will not be trading this asset alone. All right, I see here, I see Desmond, I see Julius, I see Lois, I see Felix, I see Esther, I see Brian. Welcome guys, welcome on the Saturday special edition. Let's now get rolled into Jump 10, which is our second last asset of today on the Saturday edition. Jump 10. Oh, I forgot to change to Jump 25. Sorry about that, guys. So this is Jump 10. I missed to write them the Jump 25. So Jump 10, first go to daily. Daily, this was a falling wedge. We wanted buys to get up there, and that is the move we are currently seeing. But then on H4, we are sort of retesting. According to H4 time frame, having broken out there. So according to H1, we are overbought, and we clearly see that price reacted on that resistance. So the move that we need is this to come around this level. But then we have also this order block. So I want to first delete that. I want to first delete this move. We saw it yesterday. This move to break out and continue up there, we saw it yesterday. Although we didn't take it. I wonder why we did not take it. I think by the time we analyze it had already gone. Yeah. So let's delete all this, all that. So M15 is oversold. H1 on the other hand, it's overbought. H4 is looking for sells, and price is below our 10 MA on H4, having reacted on that high, which is now a resistance level right there. So I can easily delete this now. Now, if I go back to H1, this is our high, this is our low. So it means this is our change of character. I mean, this is our lower, higher low right here, current higher low. If it is broken out, then we will be saying that is a change of character according to H1. H1 and H4, we need sells. M15 on the other hand is overbought, so it means I'm not going to follow M15, I'm going to follow H1 and H4. What do I need here now? I need a breakout here and a retest to make my sell entry. Now, if I go to H4 and I use my fib, from there to there, clearly you will see that my price has, my retest has to come around this level, that fair value gap right there. There's another one down below, so this one was a bit mitigated right here, the one I'm seeing right here. This was a bit mitigated, so there's an option, an option of it coming to this one down below here, or to even this order block. So I will just leave the one on this on 61.8 because the one on 50, between 50 and 38 was mitigated. So I will look for this one right here on 61.8 to be the one that can actually give me that retest, either the order block below that fair value gap or this fair value gap. So those will be our two options. So I'll just leave it on the fair value gap, but you guys be knowing there's a valid order block that price can react back to. So for now, delete this and now go back to H1 and wait for whatever happens right here. So I've started to see some breakouts. I need to see the change of character. That means if I see that, I will anticipate this and then pull back, short pullback to give me an entry, and then I can make an entry. If you have a big account, you can enter, but know that the momentum is low, so it can easily go back and then come back. So it's up to you. But as of me, I will wait for the breakout, proper breakout, then some sort of pullback to enter sales to bring me all the way here. And remember, according to H4, we have our trend line right there. Exactly that fair value gap will be matching with our trend line, which will be the pullback that we need in order to get into our buys and continue with the buys that we need. I hope that is clearly noted and we can use it for our own good. I see here Julius is saying on jump 10 we didn't take the buys because we were in a sell, but good enough, we told us to break even. Oh, we are in a sell on jump 10. I don't remember giving a signal of jump 10 though, but I will see. I will check through and see. All right, so now that is it on jump 10. We can wait for this move so we can enter sales. Oh yes, I've remembered. I think I've remembered the jump 10 sell. Yeah, we made some money. We made some money, and I told you it was an M15 move. It was an M15 move. Yeah, I've remembered. Yeah, I've remembered it. Let me go, actually, let me look for it where it was. Let me go to M15, look for where that trade was. This was the trade right there. Why was it there? This was it right here. This was the trade right there. This was a trade. That was a trade. I took my profits right there, but I told you guys to break even because I started to sense when it came back to this level, I started to sense some buy momentum. So eventually it broke out. Some other entries, me, I got a loss on those on some other entries, but I had already made enough money here to mitigate that loss. So either way, I didn't incur a loss on that asset. This profit that I had made here, it mitigated that loss right there. Yeah, that's how I traded this asset yesterday. So after that, it started to consolidate. This is like one may say a horizontal kind of channel, if I use it like that, but not that clear, not that much of a horizontal. If you're looking at the lows and the highs, almost it's like a horizontal channel, and it is on the resistance, so meaning we'll be looking for sells. Yeah, for now, one may say we'll be looking for sells, but channels mostly, when they are in between a trend, they are continuation patterns. So, but now that it is on a resistance, it can easily give us a reversal to enter sells. So that's why we have to wait for this. If we see a breakout here and a retest, then we can enter the sells. But if it decides to break out up there, then probably it will be on daily time frame to continue with the buys, because that's what we need according to daily time frame. We need the buys to continue up there. All right, enough of jump 10. Let's now do BTC, and we call it a day. So BTC, this is the move that I was waiting for yesterday. Right here, when it gave us this channel, I was waiting for the breakout and retest so that I can enter the sells. But surprisingly, I don't know what caused it. I'm not sure. The momentum or the market makers, they out of nowhere push price all the way up there. And clearly, according to H4, we got a new high up there. It's not an all-time high, but according to H4, that is a new high on H4 because we started buys from all the way here. That's where we have a change of character. Yes, of course, right here on BTC, I had installed a tool that easily gives me these points. It's like a smart money kind of tool. It gives me the breakout structure and the change of characters, but mostly it misses some of the other things that I normally need. That's why I come again to check and proofread myself to understand if it is giving me the right thing. So I don't entirely depend on it. That's why I don't use it on the other assets that I usually trade a lot. So right now, if I can go to daily, we've gone to that order block. That's where we've gone back to. And clearly, if you are if you're using CCI, you will clearly see that that is a retracement level where we are currently. So it can easily trigger us to think of sells to come back to fair value gaps that we have here, or the order blocks. So according to daily, we will be anticipating sells, but you can clearly see they are prices very far from our moving average. So if I go to weekly, of course, we started the bull run from that very fair value gap when market reacted from this very fair value gap. This was a fair value gap that ushered us into buys right there. That was a fair value gap. All right. So if I can go back to daily, actually H4, I have a high there, and then I'm trying to look for a higher low, but I may not see a higher low. I may actually see a high. Then now we start to see sales. So first delete this, that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete this, this, delete that, delete that. So if I go to H1, I have a break of structure, same as in H4, break of structure, but then momentum is still low. As you clearly see it, it is still low. So according to what we've seen on daily time frame, having reached that order block, one will anticipate that we are going to see sales. So on H4, I will be anticipating something like that to fail to break the previous high, and then we get into sales. We get into sales. So until I see something like this, I'm not looking for buys because the momentum is low, and the other reason is we have gone to that order block. It's sort of like a resistance level. If you look at this point right there, that is when it became a resistance level. So it is a resistance level as we speak, so we can't just take it for granted. We know that we will see some retest from that level. So now that we know that, we can go to H4. H4 is already showing us we are overbought, so meaning we need some buys, some sales. Go to H1, same thing. We were looking for sales, but of course price action was still looking for buys, but the CCR had already given us a sell kind of signal all the way from here, which was a wrong signal by then. But as we speak currently, price is below our 10 MA on H1, is below our 10 MA on H4, and that is enough signal for us to understand we are coming into sales. On M30, we can easily see some sort of a triangle. Yeah, you can see some sort of a triangle right there. It is that's a high. Okay. I'm not going to do it like this for now. I'm just going to leave it like here until it becomes now like that will be a descending triangle as I speak. Where we are, this will be a descending triangle. This high giving us a low here, then a high, low, and we currently see that the previous candle is trying to break out from this very trend line of the triangle. So it means we already know those who have gone to my mentorship class. We know that descending triangles on resistance levels like that, we will be looking for sells. Why? Price breaks on this other line going down. So that's clearly what we'll be looking for. But it can first give us a fake breakout right there, then later on brings us into sells. So for now, we just wait on it and wait to see what will happen right there. But as you can see clearly, that is what we have there. In fact, on M15, it is already showing us choke or change of character. So we can wait and see what is going to happen. According to M15, like this move, just the way I told you, like I anticipate such a move, according to M15, it is already giving me a signal to actually enter buys. And that is the buy that I'll be looking for to get back up there, such order block, and then come into sales once more. So for now, I'm not doing anything. I'll just leave it at M15 and H1. I will leave it at H1 actually and wait for when the sales start. I think that's it for today. Let's do a recap and we call it a day. It's been one of those big points. I mean, big. We already passed our normal 1 hour. So let's get into this in a short, like 1 or 2 minutes. We do the recap and we are out of here today. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so that we can have you on our side as YouTube pushes us to grow this together. All right, so we are waiting for such a move right here for crash 500 to enter our buys. So we are still in a sell because of the break of structure. So if we see something like this and we fail to break the previous lower low, then we will be entering our buys. Boom 1000. Okay, yeah, boom 1000. We are waiting for such and such. So same thing as on M15. I mean, as of crash 500. It's still something that we have to anticipate. We are on the support. We can't do anything like a buy right now because we haven't seen any change of character. On M15 we may see a change of character soon, but we haven't seen it yet. So until then we cannot do anything. As we speak, price is above our 10 MA, but it's not enough. We need to see a change of character on H1. That is what will give us a push into the buys. Boom 500. The buys continued. Yeah, buys continued. This happened right there on M15. It was a pullback. You can see it right there. This one right here, it was a pullback. Came back to the fair value gap right there. It didn't touch the order block. It only retested from the fair value gap and immediately broke out of that channel. And now we can anticipate. We wanted a change of character right there. So now we have a change of character. So now we can anticipate pull back and then entry to continue with the buys. So this we know we are likely to enter some buys as we speak very soon. We are likely to enter buys. If we get any pullback on H1, probably, I have to remind you, this is a resistance level where we are currently. So we need a pullback, then we break out of it. Yeah, so we wait for that. We have to know all those things so that we don't make any mistake and we are caught off guard. This 25S, this was a no-go for us. I don't want us to waste any time on it. We are waiting for price. We said price is likely to come here and then we make our buys right there. So until then, H4 is still selling, even though we saw on H1, even H1 is still selling, but we saw that M15 was oversold. So H1 and H4, we are still selling. We need sales to come here. Even H4 was oversold actually right there, but according to what we saw on H1, we need price to get to this level before we can enter buys. So until then, I'm not entering this. It's a trick for you to enter buys shortly and then you're taken out and then it comes right here. Yeah, I can see that we left some fair value gap there, but we may not go for it right now. We may actually first get down below. Yeah, we have an order block, we have a fair value gap on H1. Let me see, on M15 I don't think it's gonna give us a pullback up there. If it gives me a change of character, then I can enter it, but now I don't see any change of character. This is a break of structure right there. That is a break of structure. This is a lower low. So until I see a lower high and a lower high that is given by this lower low being taken out, I can't enter this in a buy. So this is a no-go for me until I see a change of character. So that is it on jump on V25S. V75, I told you price came to this fair value gap and I anticipated buys, not sells. Why? Because H1, H4 and daily time frame, I think H1 and H4, they are all giving me signals to actually enter buys to go up. It's only M15 that is showing me some sells, of which sells can come around this year, and then we later get a change of character to actually push for the buys that we need on H1 and H4. So for now, I'm not doing anything right here. I want to get a confirmation of buys so that I can enter buys, not sells. Sells will come in later once H4 and H1 are overbought. So for now, I'll be anticipating buys. So until I get an entry for the buys, I'm not doing anything right here. V50, yes, V50, I told you we are still in a buy, and clearly I told you that will happen eventually. Those who started with us on this, we can see a breakout. So all we need is price to get there, and then we can see some pullback, and then you guys can make an entry. So as I speak, we are in buys. I'm still in it. We started trading this yesterday, all the way from around here, so this was a second entry right here on the limit order. So right now we want price to get up there, so we are still in a buy trend. We haven't started selling yet. That is on jump 50. If you missed the whole big analysis, you can go in, you can wait when the session is done, you go back and look at how we analyzed it fully in detail. All right, this is now we are talking. This is jump 25. The pullback is down here, and we've started to see some buy momentum, even though it has failed to come to this level. But I clearly see that it came to one of the fair value gaps right there. All right, I think we have our entry. Not yet. Don't be tricked. That is something dangerous right there. Price can easily come down back to this order block. So please, for a while, first wait. Let's go to H1. We see if it is something that we can work with. I think it is something we can work with according to H1. H4. Oh, no. H4 is not yet. So why are we looking for buys on H1? H4 is selling. We still need some sells, and then 15. But then H1 is ready to give us some. Sells. Some buys. No, I'm not taking any risk right here. This can eventually turn and continue selling. Like I said, we have this trend line right there. We've been selling all the way from up. It is easy for price to change and first touch here before it goes to test that level. So I just have to hold on. I need more confirmation right here. I need it either from M15 to support H1, but if H1 is not supported by any other time frame, then I'm not making any entries. It's actually supported by M30, of which I don't trade with M30. So as I speak right now, I'm not buying this for now. If M15 brings me here, then I can easily make my decision to enter. But right now, I'm not buying this right now. I'm not buying what this signal that it is giving me. So that is on jump 25. I will have to wait for more. So those who are on VIP signals, I don't know if we'll be together. Of course, if something comes up, I'll be sharing with you. So on jump 10, all we need is a breakout, perfect breakout under retest, and that will be our entry to sell this. This is some trade that we have some clarity that we know we may actually enter today if it gives us something like this, even though it is having a low momentum. But if it breaks and comes here, we may see some good momentum to actually go for the sells. So as we speak now, we wait for such a move right there. BTC, so same thing, we need a pullback up there, or continuation actually. Yeah, first delete that. We need, this is a descending triangle, it breaks going down. So this is the thing, if it breaks here, then we will do only this, and then come with the sell, but then there's a possibility of it going up fast according to H4, but then price is below a 10 MA, so, and we don't see any point of interest left back, so there's a possibility of it not going back and continuing to break out. So this may not be one of those options that we are looking at, because there is no point of interest apart from that high right there. There's no other point of interest left back there, and that is not a clear point of interest that we can rely on. The order block, the fair value gaps were mitigated. Order blocks, and we don't have any point of any valid order block up there that we can say price may return back to. So as I see things the way they are, we need this breakout, pull back, then entry, and we continue selling BTC. So I think that's it for today. I hope you guys had a great time with me. I see Angola Felix, welcome. If it is your first time here, please go ahead and subscribe, and please go ahead, give us a thumbs up. It helps us. If you can like and subscribe, it helps us to grow this community together, and as we continue to bring on more things. I still have I work alone apparently, so I'm having a very hard time to make these videos of me teaching some strategies free of charge that I'll be sharing. I still have a video that I did that I needed to edit and even share by now, that concerns smart money concept, but up to now I haven't finished editing it. That's how hard it is, and so I need to get into it and start to give you guys some content that you can use to add on to your strategies and your knowledge of trading. Let me wish you guys a good day, happy trading. Let's look for this money. Of course, like I said, this is the only trade I'm seeing likely to give us an entry. Jump 10, jump 25, not really, and maybe if it gives us something like this right here. Jump 50, we are already in it. I'm already in some money. The price has gone back inside that falling wedge. It can also give us some entry. Then the V75, actually V75 may give us an entry, so it's one of those also that can easily give us an entry. So now that we are seeing something like that, we need just something like this, something like that, and then entry. So for now, you want to wait for a change of character on such a level, probably on M15 or H1, then you can make an entry. We are likely to enter this asset right here, the V75. Yeah, it's one of those that we are likely to make an entry. So V75 and jump 10 most likely to give us an entry. This is what this is. You may sell this actually. If you get a good entry, probably back to this order block, probably back to that order block. you may sell this asset. You may sell it probably when it gets back to that order block on H1. You may sell it to bring it down here according to H4, to bring it here. Okay, boom, 500. Retest is happening. Yeah, retest is happening. It's a bit weird, so this one I'm still skeptical because of the momentum, so don't rush into it. This one, no go, don't even waste your time. Crash 500. When it brings us back here, then you can make your entry. So it's giving us a lower high there. Then if it gives us a lower low that fails to break the previous lower low, if it gives us a low that fails to break the previous low, then we can come in with buys. But until then, we are still selling this asset. So we haven't gotten any change of character yet to say we have started buying. So for now, we need this. So if you can wait for such, then you're lucky. You'll be entering that. If this happens right there, that means you will have a change of character, and yeah, you'll be ready to make this kind of money. So for now, please don't trade something that you're not sure about. Wait for confirmation. Patience is very key. I've talked a lot. Please let me wish you guys a good weekend. Happy trading. See you guys on Monday, same time. No, not same time. Monday to Friday we start at 10:30 a.m. to 11:30, strictly 1 hour. We trade the synthetics. We don't add in BTC. BTC we analyze it on Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. East African time. So let me wish you guys a good day. Happy weekend. Happy trading. See you guys Monday.